Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now this video we're going to talk about blood pressure, and the whole thing's what I'm seeing all the time with people that are coming to me regarding working on high blood pressure in particular. Doesn't necessarily have to be high blood pressure, it can be low blood pressure, is flow problems, okay? And when we really look at the main issues of what can happen with the cardiovascular system is a flow problem, obstruction of flow. And what we're talking about, cardiovascular system, we're talking about blood, right? And the biggest problems in regards to cardiovascular systems that nobody wants these issues to occur to them is either a stroke or a heart attack. And when we look at both of those, with the obviously, I guess, hemorrhaging does come into this because it's a deprivation of oxygen to areas of the body, whether that's an organ or tissues around the body. And even if you haven't had a heart attack and you're getting sluggish blood, let's just say coagulation problems where the blood becomes thick, then it's harder for the body to keep providing oxygenation to tissues around the body, and you get your peripheries start to get very cold, and they're not getting the minerals, not only just oxygen, but getting the nutrients, because the blood does circulate nutrients around the body, and you can have problems. And I guess we can look at diabetes issues in regards to that, especially with not enough blood supply or nutrients getting to those peripheries, and people have to have amputations and all those sorts of things in regards to your toes and so on. So this is all flow problems, right? At a physical level, this is flow problems of, as I say, blood being the carrier for oxygen and other nutrients. Now, if we look at that issue from an energetic perspective, we quite often talk about knowing that, a lot of people ask me about how do I know I'm in the right direction, on the right path of my journey and where I need to be on. And quite often I'll answer them and say to them, well, whatever you're doing, is it making you happy? And if the answer is yes, well, that's a good indication that you're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, okay? Because our goal or our purpose in life is to be happy, right? In a world that has really been created for us to suffer, we need to really focus on doing more things in our life that make us happy, because that's what makes we place labels on things. A word, happiness, love, on a feeling, really, when you think about it. Now, the feeling is the vibration and frequency of that energetic level, and then our mind likes to get once part of the deal and wants to say, okay, let's label this feeling that we have with a word, right? And we just label this feeling of just feeling amazing, right? To describe it, we just use the word love or use the word happiness, okay? And things just change completely. Your whole chemistry on a physical level of your body just changes completely. Everything is working perfectly when you're in love. It doesn't necessarily mean being in love with someone else, or it's just doing things you love, whether that's a hobby that you just love to do and you couldn't think of doing anything else, going to a job that you can't wait to get to. How about that? And then obviously the opposite effect can happen if you're doing a job that you just hate. You don't want to get out of bed to go to. Okay, so this all has an effect on this physical plane and the chemistry of the body, and no more than the circulation system and the cardiovascular system in regards to the blood. So let's get back to, I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but it's good to explain these things in regards to blood pressure issues. So as I say, it's a flow problem on the physical level, and it's a flow problem on an energetic level, okay? And again, if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, our purpose in life, we're in the flow. You would have heard people, you're just going with the flow, right? You're in the flow of things. You don't have to let your mind get in the way of things. You just go with the flow, okay? And then things just manifest in front of you, okay? You're going from a heart point of view instead of a mind point of view. We call it heart mind. You're just feeling instead of overthinking stuff. Now, we live, though, in a world that is very much trying to get this to go ahead of this. okay? And naturally that creates more stress. If we go with this more than that, we notice that all of a sudden our life becomes less stressful, okay? Because we can live more in the now and be in the present, which is being in the flow, okay? When we allow our mind and if our consciousness is based here instead of here, then we don't live in the now. We don't live in the present, and therefore we don't live in the flow. And therefore, because we don't live in the flow, we have flow problems that manifest into this physical body. And one of those is high blood pressure. And that's why your doctor in modern medicine keeps saying they don't necessarily know the specific causes of high blood pressure, but they know that stress is a big part of why you may have high blood pressure. And they are correct in saying that. But we need to understand the whole idea of, again, what that label stress means at an energetic level. Okay? So what I will say to people that have high blood pressure problems, and what I find here regularly, is I've got a little thing on my chart that says correct flow, and every time someone comes to me about blood pressure issues, it always goes to that, to correct flow. And when it's not necessarily just correcting flow on the physical level, looking for obstruction or blockage, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like a clot or a physical phenomena that's creating that obstruction. It can be something energetic or emotional that's causing that block at that physical level. But we have to go back layers and go back to the core of what everything is, and that's vibration and frequency. So quite often we will look at, okay, how do you feel about your job? Okay, how do you feel about all the areas of sustenance of energy where you either give up your energy or you can be charged by that thing? So that's including a relationship. Are you happy in your relationship? Are you doing a job that you're passionate about? If not, then you're expending your energy and you feel drained from it. You feel drained when you're trying to make a relationship that's not right for you keep working, or you are having arguments all the time. Okay, again, you feel drained, aren't you? When you have an argument with somebody, you walk away feel drained. You don't feel charged. When somebody tells you and you talk about something that's very like-minded with a like-minded person, or they thank you for something, they respect you, you feel empowered, you feel charged, you feel great, don't you? Okay, so that's an interesting phenomenon of sustenance of energy. We either give up our energy to it or we can be charged from it. This is also food, water, this is exercise, this is breathing the air supply, but most of the big things is you know, your job, your relationships, the people that you hang around with, co-workers or colleagues at work, family, your connection with family. Have you got a problem with a connection with your mother or your father or someone in your family? Or these sorts of things come into it because they disrupt your flow energetically, and therefore you'll manifest a flow problem in the body, and that can be high blood pressure. But it could be also problems in the urinary system where you get, say, like stones, kidney stones. Could be gallstones that manifest in the gallbladder. These are all flow things. Lymphatic system, which is vital to your immune system. That can mean an obstruction or a blockage that manifests there. Okay, so, but we're going to just stick with the blood pressure phenomena. And the thing about blood pressure is, blood pressure itself, the phenomena of higher blood pressure, is not a problem. It's actually the intelligence of your body. Now, let's get into the coagulation of your blood. Say you're not in the flow of things. You may be eating too many, you're emotionally eating, so you're eating too much sugar. You're eating things that create inflammation in the body. And I tell you, it's not just nutrition and bad nutritional choices that create inflammation in the body. I tell you, there's a number of sustenances, as I've already mentioned, that can charge you or drain you. And if it drains you, then things in your body become inflamed. Okay, and we call that non-compatible field. Okay, at an energetic level, inflammation. And when the blood becomes inflamed, do you know what the blood does? It thickens. Okay, so it goes from a consistency of wine to ketchup. Okay, and when the blood thickens, it's not flowing at the speed at what it once was. And the body knows that, hey, we need to push it more to get it around the body so we can get all those tissues oxygenated and get the minerals and the nutrients that is required for those tissues to keep working properly. Okay, whether it's muscles in your legs for you to keep walking, because it needs energy, right? And when we look at the basis of what nutrients are, it's just energy. Again, it's vibration and frequency required. Okay, it's just a signature vibration and frequency for each nutrient or mineral. Okay, and so the body just instructs, hey, we've got to push this blood further or higher, and we see that as the reading of a higher blood pressure. Okay, so it's doing that for survival, to keep your body working. So that we're glad, it's awesome that it does that, right? But sustained high blood pressure is an indication that, hey, the body's having to go out of its way to try and increase the pressure of the blood around the body, the circulation, and we need to listen to that as an indicator that, hey, we need to correct that. And that may be correcting one of those areas of your life, sustenances of energy, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job that maybe, you've got to find a way of enjoying your job or looking at your job in a different way. Maybe somebody that you're working with is toxic to you, and maybe you need to look for another job, or working on getting relationships in regards to your family working well again, or feeling happy with it. Maybe it's not something you're going to find that you can resolve in regards to your family member or so on, but being happy that you know that you've done all your best and that you can sit with that for the rest of your life and still live out a very happy and fulfilling life. Now, here at Truly Holistic, when somebody comes to me with a blood pressure problem, as I say, I find these issues all the time and we work on it. And but half of the healing is you, from that point onwards, understanding the communication network of what your body's trying to tell you. Like all problems, not only just blood pressure problems, is that the high blood pressure is just a manifestation to tell you something's not right in your life. Okay, like a number of these health problems. Let's take the example of cancer, a really extreme communication of the body. And someone just doesn't wake up one day and have cancer. It's a journey. And you would have got signs and symptoms that the body, again, a symptom is just the body communicating to you, telling you something wasn't right. And we either ignored that over a period of time, these symptoms or signs, or we just took a pharmaceutical and thought, okay, that's got rid of the problem for now. Let's keep moving on. But you'll notice that those signs and symptoms will not go away. So one, you either have to keep ignoring it, or two, you keep taking that pharmaceutical just to numb it, or you need to just take some time to listen to it and show some awareness to it. Okay, and when you show some awareness to it, then the body knows that, hey, you're showing some awareness, consciousness to your body communicating to you. And then finally, you can look at resolving that issue. Now, if you don't do that, and you ignore it or keep taking pharmaceuticals, then eventually the body will keep speaking louder and louder, which will mean the symptoms or the issue will get worse until the point that you get diagnosed with a problem as severe as cancer. And with the hope that finally you will sit down and finally listen to your body of what it's trying to tell you, that something is not right in the body. And it's manifested to something to that extreme for you to eventually sit within your body and just listen to it. And I guess some people could call that meditation. A meditation doesn't mean that you have to just close yourself off into a room that's quiet, close your eyes, close your legs, and go Om. You just need to find a place where you can be present and be in the now, and that may be something that you really enjoy to do. Go out gardening. If you enjoy being out in the garden, getting your hands in the soil, grounding you, that does that, but it brings you into a place where you can just be one with your body and listen to it instead of being distracted with life. Okay? And as I say, this world, this life of that's telling you to think of a number of things all at once is there to create suffering within you. That is the goal of all of that. And you need to find a place where you remove yourself from that world to be more present and be more in the now, and just realize that the only thing I can do right now, I might have 100 things I need to do, but the only thing that's important for me is right now, because this is the only time I have a choice and control of what I can do. And this all connects into blood pressure, okay? And the blood pressure is an indicator of this aspect. And a lot of people I hear about, that regularly or have to go and get checks of blood pressure, they go and see their GP, their general practitioner or doctor. A lot of the times, they're running late to get to that appointment, right? And when you're running late and you're all stressed out, you're like, oh my God, I've got to get there. By the time you're there to get your blood pressure taken, what are you? You're stressed. No wonder your blood pressure is going to be high. Your blood pressure is not always just sitting at that blood pressure. It regulates to what you're exposed to or what's presented in front of you at the time, whether you're stressed or not, whether you're present or not, okay? So keep that in mind too. So I hope you really enjoyed this video and learned something from that. And if you do have issues with blood pressure, please get in touch with me and book an appointment at Truly Holistic, which is at trulyholistic.net, and I can help you big time with it. But as I say, part of the deal is understanding this connection with consciousness and awareness with your blood pressure. Okay, it's huge in regards to your blood pressure if you suffer with high blood pressure problems and obstruction or congestion problems within the body. So anyway, if you have any questions, post below and I'll be happy to answer them. But otherwise, next time I see you, I'll see you then. Bye.